didn't know characters were gonna die in this series. I thought this was gonna be fun and silly. I'm actually getting a little sad that I'm already on the 3rd book. Like, what do you mean after this there will only be 2 left? So my main curiosity when it comes to the 3rd book is whether it's going to focus more on like sort of what I assume the central plot of the story is, which is like fighting the main villain, or if it's going to kind of feel more like a side quest like the 2nd book did, or both. I really enjoyed the last book, but I am someone who prefers like a series that has sort of like a very overarching storyline, kind of like Harry Potter does, even though each book is like individually its own story. So I'm curious to see how much of like the main plot we dive into in this book. But I'm gonna stop talking and just start reading. Something Percy Jackson does very well is like I don't know what the exact literary term for this is. I should have paid attention in English class, but I can't admit that on camera because I don't want my English teachers to know they were right. Like the dramatic irony, the comedic irony, the dichotomy. I like how the mundane, boring human world is continuously put side by side with the scary half-blood monster world in a comedic way. Like the opening line, the Friday before winter break, my mom packed me an overnight bag and a few deadly weapons. It's just such a witty writing style. I love it. Thalia and Annabeth in the 1st chapter? Not Thalia complaining about them playing Jesse McCartney at the school dance. Sometimes I forget that these books were written in like 2005. On just anyone hold. I don't want my love to go. Dance, you guys, Thalia ordered. You look stupid just standing there. I looked nervously at Annabeth, then at the groups of girls who were roaming the gym. Well, Annabeth said, who should I ask? She punched me in the gut. Me, seaweed brain. Oh. Adorable Percy and Annabeth moments right in chapter 1? Who wants us? Bianca demanded. Because if you think you'll get a ransom, you're wrong. We don't have any family. Nico and I, her voice broke a little. We've got no one but each other. Percy, you better save these 2 poor little orphan children, okay? Annabeth just fell off a cliff. Suddenly this isn't fun anymore. She's okay, right? She has main character privilege. She's fine. She's fine. Okay, moving on past Annabeth literally falling off a cliff. Nico is so adorable. Nico is so adorable. Protect this child at all costs. Okay, so Artemis just offered Bianca the choice to become a hunter or to go to Camp Half-Blood, and I'm sorry, why? Like, I don't even think that's something that you need to think about, because the offer is you get to go to Camp Half-Blood where you'll get bullied and have the chance to die for glory, or you can become a hunter and be immortal, and all you have to give up in exchange is marriage. Like, girl, I'm already single, sign me up. Okay, no shade to the last book, which if you watched my last video, you'll know I really enjoyed, but just after the first few chapters, I'm already really enjoying this book more than the 2nd one, and honestly maybe even a little more than the 1st one. It feels very like immersive, it feels very fast-paced, it feels like we're getting introduced to these new really cool characters. I'm really excited to keep reading. I feel like getting into the Percy Jackson series really brought back reading into my life, because for a long time I would just spend my time doom scrolling on my phone, and now instead when I want to take a break I end up picking up a book, which has really helped my anxiety. And another thing that has really helped my anxiety besides reading the entire Percy Jackson series, guess what I'm reading right now? Is therapy. I've been using BetterHelp, who is the sponsor of today's video, and I want to talk a little bit about my experience with them. I think my biggest problem when it came to traditional therapy was that I couldn't commit to a regular schedule, because like I'm self-employed, I work odd hours, and I also hated having to physically go into someone's office. Like I was just never comfortable doing that. So the reason that BetterHelp has worked well for me is that I can do therapy remotely and like on my own time. I usually do weekly messaging appointments that I schedule based on my work schedule that week, and then I also communicate with my therapist over messaging throughout the week. So this is the first time that therapy has not felt like a chore for me, which is nice. And if this sounds like something that resonates with you and you'd like to try it, you can go onto their website, answer a few questions about yourself, and you'll get connected with a licensed therapist experienced in helping what you're personally struggling with. For example, one of my problems is that I have not had a good night's sleep in my life. And they connected me with someone who has a lot of knowledge about sleeping issues. You can have your appointment the way that's most comfortable for you. So I usually do messaging, but you can also choose phone or video chat. So let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. You can visit betterhelp.com/magicbymikaila, or you can choose Magic by Mikaila during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Chapter 4, Thalia torches New England. No, Thalia, not New England. I actually don't know where New England is. I live on the West Coast, don't judge me. Percy just mentioned that he thought it was selfish that Bianca just abandoned her brother like that. And like, I'm not gonna lie, that like, no shade to my girl Bianca, but like, she didn't even think about it. She didn't think about it, but like after 2 seconds, she was just like, all right, R.I.P. Nico, I'm off to be immortal. But then like, I guess taking the context into it, it seems like these two have not had an easy life. And I don't know, if someone came and offered me an escape from that, if they're like, there came like, hey, not only can you leave your terrible life behind, but you could be immortal. I'd be like, goodbye, sibling. I don't know if I would. I'm also a younger sibling though, so I don't know, maybe from the perspective of like, if you're an older sibling, maybe you have a different perspective. I have younger sibling privilege, so can't relate, Bianca. I really like that Poseidon gave Percy coins so he could call his family. You get 3 good dad points, Poseidon. 3.5. I don't know what the point scale is. Welcome to Mikaila Reads Percy Jackson, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. I'm also really happy we got a Tyson appearance. I really love when books have like continuity. I was worried that we were just, I don't know, I just thought maybe like we would never see him again. They're like, okay, bye Tyson, and then he's just never mentioned again. I don't know why, but that was like a worry. And so when he came back, I'm like, oh thank goodness, my boy Tyson, they didn't forget about him. Also, this discussion of the war has me so hyped. Like, no, I'm not hyped for war. War is bad. God, I wish there was a war. But what I'm excited for is what seems to be a focus on like the overarching sort of story of the series. I guess there should have been an indication that we were gonna get into the battle against Kronos because the title is The Titan's Curse. But honestly, I kind of forgot what a Titan was, so that didn't ring any bells for me. No, Luke, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? Hello, darkness, my old friend. So Annabeth just got tricked into doing something life-threatening by Luke. I'm not exactly sure what is happening. But I want to be like Percy and be like, no, Annabeth, how could you keep trusting Luke again? But look at me in my clown shoes, reading this sequence and thinking, oh, Luke, he's gonna turn back. Annabeth is gonna save him, and then there's gonna be like a little reunion, and then he's gonna turn to the good side. I'm a fool. I'm really into this Percy and Nico, like big bro, little bro relationship. It's really cute. Although I don't know if I should be concerned that Nico wants to kill people. How old is he, like 9? Not concerning, it's just 9-year-old thoughts. Thalia just called Percy seaweed brain, and Percy's like, how dare you? Only the love of my life is allowed to call me that, Thalia. Pinecone face. Out of pocket, Percy. I really just want Thalia and Percy to be besties. Like, stop fighting. Hug each other. You're best friends. I do feel like they're like very similar. Like they could be besties if they wanted to. Okay, this is what I want to happen in this book. I want them to be, they're like kind of like enemies now, and then I want them to become like best friends by the end of the book, and then for the rest of the series I want them to be a iconic and chaotic besties duo. Oh, even the Oracle came down. She's like, you kids better shut the fuck up. You woke me up from my beauty sleep. Not beauty sleep, but you know what I mean. Over talking about finding Pan, I just feel like being the 3rd book, I feel like this is where everything is starting to come together. Like, oh yeah, it's all coming together. Like, this is going to connect to like the fight against Kronos, and it's all gonna, all the dots are connecting. Okay, so they're talking about the Oracle's prophecy, and this is getting so dark. they're like, well, whose parent would kill them? I don't think Poseidon would kill Percy unless there's like a shocking twist, which could be because I didn't see Luke coming, unless there's like a shocking twist where like Poseidon's actually evil, but I don't know. I don't feel like that's the type of story this book is telling. I could be wrong. I don't trust Zeus, but I also don't think he would kill Thalia when he like put all that effort into turning her into a tree. I don't know, maybe it'll be like a sort of tragic twist where he accidentally kills her after saving her. But I'm actually becoming obsessed with Thalia as a character, so I am not going to speak that into existence. Sally Jackson, light of my life, telling Percy he should follow his heart. Also getting back out there and dating. Yes, Sally, I love that for you. Where is our Sally Jackson book spinoff? Give it to me, Rick. Listen. Call me a clown, and I have. Well, now I feel foolish. I know there's no illustrations, but like he has like hot energy, you know? I think Luke is going to get a redemption arc. Like, I know not killing Annabeth, who is like a younger sister to him, is like the bare minimum of, I'm not even gonna say of goodness, it's just like not being evil for 2 seconds. But like, I don't know. I think it would be really interesting to see him get a redemption arc and to see him like sort of at the end of the book like working to atone for his actions. I don't know. Maybe I just need to go put on my clown shoes. I think I need to start like a tally for the amount of unhinged scenes in this book, because Percy just befriended like a sea cow. Not like a sea cow, but like a sea cow. Actually, there wouldn't even be a tally because I feel like the whole book, the whole series is just like a never-ending parade of unhinged. And I love it. I also love what I feel like is starting to be an overarching theme of this book in particular, which is like the flaws within the heroes. Because we saw it in Percy, like him just running into danger to prove himself. And now in this story that Mr. D is telling about Ariadne and Theseus, I feel like this sort of theme of flawed heroes really fits into the overarching theme of the series. I don't know if it's the overarching theme of the series, but a overarching theme of the series, which is this idea that like there's not like one side that's fully good and one side that's fully evil, like in the last one where like Tyson was not like the monster he appeared to be, or like this idea that, you know, though obviously this is the bad side, the Titan side, and the side that Kronos is on has, you know, valid points and valid grievances. Oh, Luke is back. All right, Luke, bro, be cool. Be cool. Don't make me look bad. Don't make me look bad in front of all these people for rooting for you. Be chill, Luke. It's funny because I had in my mind, I guess, envisioned that Luke was kind of in charge of this whole operation. Like, I thought he was like a high up bad guy, but now he kind of feels like he's just a pawn in the greater plan, which is really interesting. I'm sat in the corner of my room reading because sometimes that's the most comfortable place to read. Sometimes you just need some pillows and a nice corner, and it feels very safe. I hope there are no spiders in this corner. So, friends and enemies, if you're watching this and you are an enemy, hi. We have just gotten some 1, Riptide backstory, and 2, Zoe backstory. And you know, I had never really thought much about Zoe up until this point. But now I'm so intrigued by what I assume is a betrayal by the man in the dream, and that sort of being like the reason why she is the way she is and why she told Thalia that Luke would betray her, and she was right. Also, the reasoning Bianca felt okay leaving Nico behind to join the Hunters being that she saw how good Percy was, and she was like, you know what, if Percy, a half-blood, is that good, then Nico is probably in good hands. Like, I need a moment. Okay. Alright, I can get behind that. I can get behind Bianca leaving Nico because of that. That's actually really sweet. The Lotus Casino. Wait. Oh. Oh. I did not see that coming. Like, all the little hints with, like, the subway station and these other things. I was like assuming there was like some sort of mystery behind it, but I would not have guessed that, oh, wait, that's really cool. I mean, that's not cool that Bianca and Nico were like stuck in there for 7 years. That's not cool, but like as a plot twist, that's really cool. Like, one, the Lotus Casino coming back in that way, like the continuity there, but also just like, man, 70? I need to process this. No, I need to keep reading. Aphrodite looking a little bit like Annabeth to Percy. Kid is in love. But I hate I hate that I'm exactly like Aphrodite here when it comes to Percy and Annabeth, but I am literally her. This like, oh, you kids, it's so cute, I'm going to cry. Like, that line, that has been the exact way I've been talking about Percy and Annabeth. Like, oh, these kids, they're so cute. But they are. Also, I missed Percy starting fights with Ares. Get him, Percy. Did Bianca just die? Wait, no. Wait. That was so unexpected. Wait. I feel like this is like when I read the 4th Harry Potter book, and then like when Cedric died, and that's sort of this like turning point in the book where it's like, okay, this is serious now. Like, this isn't just like fun, not fun and games, but this isn't like a fun sort of children's adventure. Like, this is serious now. And that's kind of what that felt like. But why? Why would you do that? You did not have to kill her, Rick. Wait. Okay, but she's gonna come back though, right? Like, at the end of the book. Like Tyson did in the last book, and like Sally did in the first book. Like, she's okay. I mean, they didn't find a body. She's okay, right? Right? Oh my god, and it was because she got the toy for Nico. Because she loved him, and because she was probably felt so guilty about leaving him. And that was the reason she died. I'm not okay about this. This is so dumb and funny. I'm crying. Oh my god. I'm crying. I was crying 2 seconds ago, and now I'm laughing, crying. Half a chapter later. Okay, so when I had watched Percy Jackson, like, TikToks, or like, I was looking at the YouTube comments, whatever, I had noticed that, like, saying, like, damn something was a recurring joke. I just assumed it was, like, a sort of fandom meme, but I didn't have any context for it. And I did not expect the context to be so good. It's scenes like this that make me sad that I didn't read this when I was younger, because I would have eaten that up. Why is this happening 2 seconds after Bianca died, though? Honestly, 10 out of 10 coping mechanism, because I just went from crying to laughing in like 2 seconds. And also Zoe just being like, what is wrong with these people the entire time. Iconic. Also, I just realized the title of the chapter is I Have a Damn Problem. And then 2 seconds later, the sea cow is back, and they're getting chased by a skeleton army. No rest, we stay chronically unhinged. R.I.P. Zoe, but it's time to fight skeletons in the damn snack bar. So, new mystery, there's this mortal girl that can see, like, the skeletons and Percy and stuff, and I don't know what that's about, but I'm excited to learn more about her. And 2, Athena is apparently helping Percy save Annabeth, so 2 parenting points to Athena, I guess, and 0.5 points to Zeus for answering Thalia's prayers for once in her life. The sea cow Bessie's the monster? Is this like a Luke situation? Because this whole time I'm like, oh, Bessie, the cute little sea cow. She's actually evil? Okay, just kidding. I was unnecessarily dramatic. She's not evil. She's just she's powerful. I actually thought he was pointing at Percy at first when Percy's like, tell me where I can find the monster that will end all the gods. And he's like, it's right there, and pointed at Percy's feet. And I was like, oh, it's Percy.
Pettigrew's alive, and he's right there.
Hey, it's mental.
Don't use You're rat!
So this moment where Percy sort of swallows his pride and asks Mr. D for help is a really good moment. One, because he did it for Thalia, so we're getting somewhere in the Thalia Percy besties situation that I really want to happen. And two, I feel like this kind of completed his sort of character growth for this book, because it really contrasts his moments in the opening where I feel like he was more inclined to just run into danger to prove himself, like for his pride, and him being able to like sacrifice his pride in order to save his friends. One, really shows growth, and two, I feel like it's almost a sense of breaking this cycle. Like, he is different than the heroes that Mr. D and Zoe told him about. We love Percy. Also, Mr. D calling him Percy Jackson for the first time. Growth. We're gonna meet Annabeth's dad. Mr. Chase, let me fight you. I will fight you. Okay, I still want to fight Annabeth's dad, but because I can't help but compare him living in the place he wants, with the people he wants, having this happy life, comparing that to Sally Jackson, who suffered and sacrificed so much to keep Percy safe and to keep Percy with her. But at the same time, after getting to know him and Annabeth's stepmom here, I feel like this is a good example of the same bad parenting we see in the gods. Like, yes, mistakes were clearly made, but that doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't care about Annabeth at all. Like, it's not entirely black and white. And just because a parent doesn't mean to hurt their child doesn't mean that hurt was not inflicted, but also just because a parent was not the best parent does not mean that the parent didn't love their child. Mr. Chase was really just a mortal who was unequipped to deal with this world of the gods. And like, Athena wasn't helping. Athena was not paying child support, as far as I know. So you can't really blame Mr. Chase for making mistakes, yet at the same time, I cannot help but compare him to Sally Jackson, who was in the exact same situation and did everything she could to protect Percy and to help him and to keep Percy with her together. Thalia said Percy was her friend and she wouldn't kill him. A win is a win. A win is a win. They're besties. They are besties. For a terrible moment, Thalia hesitated. She gazed at Luke, her eyes full of pain, as if the only thing she wanted in the world was to believe him. Then she leveled her spear. You aren't Luke. I don't know you anymore. Luke, stop giving everyone trauma! Percy challenging Atlas.
Percy holding up the sky!
That's my son! That's my boy! Sorry, so much just happened? Is Luke dead? Is Zoe dead? What is happening? Wait. Hold on. Oh my god, Annabeth's dad just swooped in. Hold on. Wait, Zoe is actually dead. She just died. I was so sure there was gonna be some like hunter magic at the end there that brought Zoe and Bianca back to life. Like, no, she just died. I didn't know characters were gonna die in this series. I thought this was gonna be fun and silly. This is the opposite of fun and silly. Okay, I've calmed down, but barely. We're gonna unpack this later, because I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna try to keep reading after all that emotional damage. One parenting point for Mr. Chase. One. He gets one. Okay, Luke isn't dead, but Zoe and Bianca are. Thanks, Rick. Thank you. Actually, no thanks, Rick, because though Luke deserved to die, that would have been actually a really anticlimactic ending. I was kind of like taken aback. I was like, wait, did he just die like that? Like, what is going on? That was a little bit, like, random and sudden. So, no, I'm glad he's alive, because he definitely had more story in him, but we could bring back Zoe and Bianca, too. A redemption arc for Luke, I feel, gets harder and harder the more characters that die as a result of his actions. Okay, I'll say it. He deserves to die. Unlike Bianca, unlike Zoe, Luke couldn't be alive. It wouldn't be fair. That's literally what I just said, Percy. That is literally what I just said. Thalia and Percy hug. They are besties. Confirmed. They're besties now. They're besties. Also Poseidon, you get 2 more points for standing up to Percy. We got a seaweed brain. Sally Jackson is happy, and that's all I care about. It's a bittersweet ending, but at least it leaned sort of happy at the end there, you know, despite everything. First of all, where's my sister? Rick, I just want to talk. Okay, so much happening. Nico is a child of Hades, which is like, what? And I assume that means that the prophecy could also be talking about him. Pan spoke to Grover. Oh, let me rest. There's too much happening. Okay, that's the end. I survived, but barely. Wow. I really did think, based on the first 2 books, that this was going to just be kind of like a fun adventure series. Like, obviously, there were dark themes in the first book, but like they didn't outweigh like this sort of atmosphere of being fun and lighthearted and like, and not that the dark moments in this book outweighed that atmosphere either, but it's just like, I don't know, I didn't expect people to die. You have like books 1 and 2, which is like, oh, we're going on a quest, we're getting like, yay, and then I was like, boom, book 3. This was my favorite book so far. I'm also emotionally devastated. Please don't tell me it gets more emotionally devastating in books 4 and 5, please. I can't handle it. I have so much to say. I love how the characters have grown. I love how the story has grown. I love how the world has grown. It really feels like sort of this big epic fantasy adventure, and that's something I really love. It has a perfect balance still, like I said, between the humor and fun of the first 2 books while really growing the plot and the overarching story. I'm trying to make like predictions for what I think is about to happen. I don't know. I think I'm inclined to believe that the prophecy is still going to be about Percy, because I just feel like that feels right for this story. But I also now am thinking like it's going to be some plot twist where it's actually about Nico. But, or maybe even Thalia, like there's like, she thought she joined the Hunters so it stopped the prophecy from being about her, but then it actually is. Maybe there's like a little plot twist there. He's very good with the plot twists and tricking me about characters. I mean, before I started it, I was inclined to think there was going to be some sort of like redemption arc with Luke in the last book. I thought it was going to be maybe like a sort of Zuko thing where he turns back and he like joins the good side in the last book, and maybe they have like an adventure together. But now, after the events of the 3rd book, it does feel like it's looking more and more like that's not going to happen. It's feeling like it's getting a little harder and harder to redeem him. So that's going to be interesting. I hope nobody else dies. I don't know. I need like 7 to 14 business days to recover from reading that. Hi, yeah, I can't come into work tomorrow. I just finished the Titan's Curse. Right, you understand. You understand.